He was the nightmare your parents warned you about, the king of theatrical spectacle, the rock star who made audiences gasp and cheer in equal measure. Alice Cooper wasn't just a performer. He was a living embodiment of rebellion and theatrical artistry, a pioneer who blurred the line between fantasy and reality on stage. With his trademark black eyeliner, slithering pythons, and dramatic stage props, each performance became a story, a thrilling spectacle that captivated audiences around the world. Yet beneath the flamboyant persona lay Vincent Damon Fournier, a man whose life behind the scenes was quieter, more introspective, and often marked by challenges that no stage lights could illuminate. The persona of Alice Cooper was a carefully constructed armor, a way to navigate a world that had sometimes felt overwhelming and unkind. At 77, the mask remains iconic, but Vincent himself has begun to reflect openly on the life lived beneath it, a life of triumph, endurance, and subtle introspection about the costs and rewards of surviving in the limelight. Childhood shadows, long before the snakes, the guillotines, and the screaming fans, there was a boy named Vincent, growing up in the sun-drenched suburbs of Phoenix, Arizona. Born to a preacher and a deeply religious mother, his life was steeped in church teachings, scripture, and Sunday school. To an outsider, the Fournier household might have seemed orderly, peaceful, and morally upright. Yet for Vincent, the world felt more complex, layered with quiet unease. From a young age, he experienced chronic illness, spending long periods confined to bed, wrestling with fevers, weakness, and the isolation that came with them. While other children played outside and explored the world around them, Vincent retreated into books, horror comics, and his own imagination. These early experiences of vulnerability and difference left deep impressions. He felt invisible, fragile, and sometimes disconnected from those around him, including his loving but strict parents. Their affection was often intertwined with discipline and expectation, offering guidance but little in the way of emotional reassurance. For Vincent, the path to self-expression and escape lay in reinvention, imagining a version of himself stronger, braver, and unbound by the limitations of his childhood. Music as a lifeline high school provided Vincent with two transformative lifelines: music and performance. He and a few friends formed a small band, initially called the Earwigs, which would eventually evolve into Alice Cooper. The creation of this band was more than a hobby. It was a psychological lifeline, a way to channel the fears, frustrations, and vulnerabilities that had accumulated during his early years. Alice was everything Vincent felt he could not be: bold, fearless, and unrestrained. On stage, Alice thrived in chaos and spectacle, mesmerizing audiences with theatricality and bravado, while Vincent, off stage, remained reflective and quietly introspective. The persona allowed him to navigate the world with a sense of control and confidence that he had rarely felt before. Music became both escape and expression, offering a safe conduit through which he could explore emotion, identity, and creativity. It was not just about performance, it was survival, a means to confront childhood shadows and craft a space where he could define himself on his own terms. Becoming Alice Cooper. The transformation from Vincent Fournier to Alice Cooper was profound. Adopting the name marked a psychological shift, a declaration that he would not remain the timid, fragile boy he had once been. Alice was audacious, terrifying, and larger than life, a persona designed to capture attention and command presence. The theatrics, the makeup, the stage props, and the elaborate performances were all tools that allowed Vincent to inhabit a world where fear could be harnessed as power and vulnerability could be cloaked behind drama. Yet the duality was never simple. The same persona that gave him freedom and confidence also created distance, a barrier between the man he was and the image the world loved. Alice Cooper became both shield and stage, a protective layer that enabled him to flourish professionally, but also concealed the boy who had once felt so small and unseen. Stardom and the double life. By the 1970s, Alice Cooper had risen to superstardom. The world knew him as a shock rock icon, a master of theatrical spectacle with audiences captivated by the energy, danger, and thrill of his performances. But behind the makeup, Vincent often felt overwhelmed by the very fame he had worked so hard to achieve. The persona that had been a protective lifeline during adolescence had grown into a cage, one he could not easily leave. Touring, recording, and performing with relentless intensity took a toll physically, mentally, and emotionally. Fame was both a gift and a burden, bringing recognition, wealth, and influence while also amplifying the isolation and pressure that Vincent had always felt. As Alice, he was celebrated. As Vincent, he was often quietly struggling to reconcile his own identity with the character the world adored. The line between Vincent and Alice blurred, creating tension between survival, performance, and authenticity. Struggles with addiction. To cope with the pressures of fame and the emotional weight of his stage persona, Vincent turned to alcohol and later, other substances. What began as a means of relaxation and escape gradually became a cycle that threatened both health and career. Nights blurred into one another with drinking, exhaustion, and moments of erratic behavior. The persona of Alice Cooper continued to thrive on stage. But behind the scenes, Vincent grappled with the challenges of maintaining a balance between personal stability and professional demands. Substance use offered temporary relief, but never truly healed the underlying anxieties and scars from his childhood. By the late 1970s, the pressures of maintaining such a larger-than-life persona, combined with touring and personal struggles, brought him to the brink of collapse. The weight of the persona. Alice Cooper was a spectacle, but the spectacle carried weight. Vincent often felt trapped by the very character that had saved him from invisibility. On stage, he projected fearlessness and chaos. Off stage, he wrestled with insecurity, fatigue, and the remnants of early trauma. Interviews from this period reveal a man striving to reconcile the power of Alice with the vulnerabilities of Vincent, a man who had learned to survive behind a mask that now felt as confining as it had once been protective. The theatrics were cathartic, yet incomplete, providing an outlet but not a solution. Vincent's life was a constant negotiation between the persona that commanded attention and the human being beneath, still searching for peace, identity, and balance. Cheryl Goddard. Anchor and support. Amid the turmoil, one figure emerged as an anchor, Cheryl Goddard. Meeting her in the late 1970s marked a turning point for Vincent, offering a source of stability, patience, and understanding. Cheryl saw past the persona, recognizing the fragile, thoughtful, and complex man beneath. Through love, encouragement, and unwavering support, she helped Vincent confront his addictions, face his fears, and begin the work of healing. Recovery was gradual, with setbacks and progress intertwined, but her presence offered a steady counterbalance to a life defined by extremes. Cheryl became more than a partner. She was a guide, helping Vincent navigate the delicate interplay between personal life and public persona, supporting him in reclaiming aspects of himself that had been buried for decades. Family life and parenting, marriage and parenthood brought joy and complexity to Vincent's life. Living with Alice Cooper required constant negotiation between the stage persona and the man behind it. Raising 3 children, Calico, Dash, and Sonora, added layers of responsibility and introspection as Vincent sought to balance love, attention, and stability with the demands of fame and the shadows of past struggles. Parenthood offered purpose and grounding, but it also brought challenges as Vincent worked to shield his family from the intensity of his career and the coping mechanisms that had once been necessary for survival. Every day required mindfulness, care, and emotional engagement, teaching lessons about resilience, empathy, and the ongoing work of building meaningful connections. Faith and self-reflection. Faith became an essential element of Vincent's journey. Returning to spiritual grounding offered stability and a framework for navigating the complexities of recovery, family life, and the challenges of aging. Spiritual reflection helped him process the events of a life lived at extremes and provided context for the lessons learned along the way. Yet even with faith, love, and family, Vincent remained aware of the lingering effects of childhood trauma and years shaped by the pressures of performance and addiction. Reflection became a tool for understanding, self-forgiveness, and growth, a way to reconcile the man he had become with the boy he had once been. The quiet stage of later life. At 77, the loud theatrics and pyrotechnics have softened, and the crowds no longer roar with the intensity of earlier decades. Alice Cooper, the persona that captivated millions, now inhabits a quieter stage, one defined by reflection, health, and legacy rather than spectacle. The instruments, stage props, and snakes remain symbols of a career that pushed boundaries. but the focus has shifted to the subtler challenges of aging, memory, and mortality. Vincent navigates the world with the awareness of a life lived fully, understanding that the persona that once protected him also demanded sacrifice. The quiet stage is not less meaningful. It is simply more intimate, a space for introspection and reconciliation. Legacy and reflection. Alice Cooper's influence on rock history is indelible, a cultural touchstone recognized across generations. Yet immortality in performance cannot erase the quiet moments of struggle, reflection, and solitude that accompany a life spent in the public eye. Vincent reflects on the years shaped by addiction, fear, and relentless performance, recognizing the relationships and opportunities that were strained or lost along the way. Fame offered validation but demanded compromise, while love, family, and faith provided grounding but could not erase the echoes of earlier challenges. Through it all, Vincent embodies the complexity of endurance, showing that survival and creativity often come at a personal cost invisible to the public. Survival and strength. Despite challenges Vincent has endured, he has survived superstardom, addiction, near collapse, and the pressures of sustaining a persona that was both liberating and confining. Yet survival carries a quieter, more reflective weight in later life, where physical health, memory, and emotional balance require ongoing attention. The man who once thrived on chaos now confronts the subtler trials of aging, understanding that courage is not always measured in spectacle or applause, but in the quiet decisions to heal, connect, and grow. Humanity behind the mask. The story of Alice Cooper is also the story of Vincent Furnier, the boy who overcame illness, isolation, and early trauma to become a global icon. Fame immortalized his persona, but it could not shield him from the vulnerabilities and struggles inherent in life. Through love, family, and faith, Vincent found stability, yet the emotional scars remain, reminders of a lifetime lived at extremes. At 77, he navigates life with a reflective awareness, measuring his experiences not by applause or accolades, but by endurance, resilience, and the ongoing work of being human. Endings and new beginnings. The stage may have quieted, the props stored away, and the pyrotechnics retired, yet the lessons of a life lived boldly endure. Alice Cooper will remain an iconic figure in music history, a symbol of courage, imagination, and performance. Vincent Furnier, the man behind the legend, embodies survival, reinvention, and the delicate balance of vulnerability and strength. His story is a reminder that even the most spectacular figures are shaped by private struggles and quiet resilience, and that true courage often manifests in ways unseen by the audience. Reflection and enduring influence. As Vincent continues to move forward, he reflects on a life defined by duality, the larger-than-life Alice Cooper and the human Vincent. The performances, theatrics, and iconic presence will inspire generations, but the man himself teaches the deeper lessons of endurance, humility, and reflection. The makeup may fade, the stage may grow quiet, and the snakes may rest, but the story of Vincent Furnier remains a testament to resilience, humanity, and the profound complexity of a life lived at the intersection of art, identity, and survival. Even at 77, he stands as a reminder that behind every mask is a heart that has endured, a spirit that has grown, and a life that continues to teach, inspire, and illuminate the fragile, unyielding human experience.